from a piece of film music we've been writing, and it was written using the Greengate Productions DS3 digital sound sampling device, which we've been developing ourselves.
Well, you may be wondering who we are. Jointly, we're Mainframe. My name is Murray Munro.
And I'm John Malloy.
And what we're going to do is give you a brief demo of the system that we use to produce the film music. And John will start by showing the sound sequencer that, in fact, we use to produce all our drum tracks.
What happened, you see, is that we are recording in a very small studio. It's in a bedroom in a house, and that's where we've done all our recording up until now. And we have a situation where the neighbours were not overly happy with Murray, who's a perfectly adequate drummer, playing the drums all the time. So we were stuck into a position where there was no chance of actually being able to record any time during the day.
Then David Green came along with a circuit that plugs into the back of the Apple, which allowed us to sample our drum kit of sounds and play them back on the Apple keyboard.
For example, here we have the sound of a bass drum, the snare drum we use, the hi-hat closed and open, and a cowbell. These sounds are all stored inside the computer, and to actually produce the whole sound of a drum kit, you'd need to sequence all the sounds together.
This is done by selecting a pulse track or metronome, and you do this by selecting Shift-P on the Apple keyboard, and the metronome can be sped up or slowed down according to the tempo of the song.
Here is a pulse track, and here is a very basic 2-drum pattern. And then when you play it back in the computer, it sounds like this.
Then sequences like that can be joined together using the sequence editing software to produce a song.
Once you have the completed sequence, you aren't limited to the sounds which you've played there. You can in fact load any sound you like, providing it fits into the memory available to be triggered from the sequence.
When we say any sound, we actually mean any sound. For example, ah. So that was me going ah.
Playing it back on the Apple keyboard sounds like this.
Ah, ah, ah.
Now if you get the keyboard interface, by connecting your computer to a digitally scanned keyboard, you can have control over the pitch for 4 notes simultaneously.
And by editing, we can clean up the sound using the editing software. Here we have a single string taken from an acoustic guitar, and it's been cleaned up using the editing software.
You can actually sequence from the keyboard in the same manner as the sequencing from the Apple keyboard. For example, here is the sound of a 12-string guitar, which, as it's played on a keyboard, sounds more like, in fact, a harpsichord. As we said before, this could actually be sped up as well. At maximum speed, this sounds really silly.
And it can sound even stranger using the sound of a breaking bottle. Here's another example of sequencing pitches as well as rhythms using one tom-tom sound.
board costs £250 and comes with 3 discs of software.
These are editing, sequencing, recording, and a selection of sounds.
For another £100 you get the keyboard interface, and this will allow you to do all the crazy things we've been demonstrating today.
And we're currently looking for a keyboard to go with the system.
And now, to finish off, this is a song we're working on at the moment, the band Mainframe, and the song is called Simon, and this uses a lot of the digital effects and the digital gimmicks that we've been demonstrating today.
Including the sound sequencer as a drum machine and some very strange vocal sounds.